Welcome into The Jammies, episode 4. Today we're talking about my January 2025 in music, but let's get through a little bit of housekeeping to start here. If you have any recommendations, if you had checked out any of the music that was recommended in this show or any of the previous episodes, or if you wanted your music showcased on the show, please reach out to me at thejammiesshow@gmail.com. That's going to be the Jammies is Jammies show at gmail.com. I hope everybody's had a great start to their year. 2025, we're trying to make it a great year, not only in our everyday lives, but in our musical lives as well. We're trying to find all the best music we can, share it around, make sure everybody knows about all these fantastic indie bands out there. I gotta start elephant in the room here. We gotta talk about the Lumineers' new album. The Lumineers used to be one of my favorite bands, and it's not that they're not a favorite of mine, but I don't listen to them as much. The previous album, Bright Side, just didn't necessarily do it for me. So, in a weird way, I felt a little scorned, which the Lumineers do not owe me anything. They've given me plenty of amazing music, and they've never owed me anything, to be fair. Anyways, they released an album on February 14th of this year, so happy Valentine's Day to us all. The new Lumineers album was called Automatic, and I am happy to say that I'm really enjoying the album. I've listened to it maybe 3 or 4 times all the way through. It's got a couple good singles, and that's really what I was hoping for. I was like, if I can get 1 or 2 new Lumineers songs out of this, I'll be a happy camper. And honestly, there's probably 3, 4, and the more I listen to it, the more I'm liking just about every song on there. So happy to report, again, elephant in the room, the Lumineers. Let's get the big one out of the way first. Automatic is definitely worth a listen, I'd say. I'm recording this episode currently on February 18th, but it'll hopefully be coming out on February 21st. And if you're listening to it right now on the 21st when it drops, something else dropped. Rum Jungle's new album, Recency Bias. Talked about Rum Jungle on a couple of episodes already, but their debut album actually is coming out on the 21st of February. So again, today if you're listening on the day that the Jammies episode 4 comes out. I hope you guys are all able to check that one out. Yeah, they released a single right before the album came out called What's It Like? I can't stop listening to it. So yeah, Rum Jungle's debut album, Recency Bias. Check it out. I'm super stoked about it. I got the vinyl shipping in the mail. They're signing it. They're sending it over. Just really excited to hear what else they have on that album. So with all that being said, let's get into the actual show. And the topic of today's show, as mentioned in the open, we're talking about my January 2025 in music. I teased a couple of bands, I've teased a little bit about this episode, and I kept on saying how excited I was to talk to you guys about all of the music that I've already been able to stumble upon in January of this year and leaking into February a little bit. We'll leave the stuff for February for actually next episode. I'm hoping to get this one out to you guys again by the 21st. Hopefully you're listening to this. It's going to talk all the bands for January. But then I gotta get right on to that February episode because February's already been treating me well. So yeah, let's get into January's music because we got a lot to talk about here. But we're gonna start with the band The Stripers. I believe it is The Stripers. It is spelled Stripers. So I don't think they're the Strippers. I think they're the Stripers, and I think a lot of people probably mistake them when they see them on a lineup and call them the Strippers, but I'm almost positive they're the Stripers. They're the first band that I really found so far in January, really late December into January. Best songs from the Stripers. The first song I ever heard from them was the song May, just M-A-Y, and it got me so excited hearing this song that I actually reached out to the Stripers just to say how fantastic the song was. Like, all their music ended up being really good, and wrote in the email about that as well. But anyways, a couple songs from them. May, again, is probably my favorite song by the Stripers. You also have the song Not Coming Home, Slowly, Etta, parentheses Vinyl Blues. I think that's a really good starting place. They only have about 10 songs out, so those are probably my favorites. So last week I had mentioned a band that only has 600 monthly listens. They're the Debtors, Debtors. So I had mentioned them last week, and the thought in my head was, how am I supposed to come up with new ways to talk about all these different artists and make them sound interesting and say something almost profound about each different artist? And that's not really what the show's about. The show's really about finding music that I enjoy, sharing it to whoever's out there listening, and hoping that they also enjoy it. So yeah, I'm just here to recommend music. I don't need to be the most profound speaker in the world. Hopefully the more I do this, the better I get at it, but if I say a song or a band is awesome too many times, I apologize, but again, I'm just here trying to share the love with these different artists, share the love for the music that I enjoy. Alright, so, anyways, the Debtors. Again, Debtors. My comparison for them, they sound so much like Young the Giant. Specifically, the lead singer of the band sounds weirdly similar to the singer from Young the Giant, which is an absolute compliment because I love Young the Giant. Specifically, their first album, which was just self-titled Young the Giant. Funny enough, has a very similar album cover to the album that I'd recommend from the Debtors. It's called Simple State, came out in 2019. It's really good front to back. It's got some of my favorite songs on there as well. Some of my favorite songs being Ask Your Local Server. It's actually the first song on that album. And then it ends with the song Highly Caffeinated, which is probably my favorite song by them. They also have an EP out there. One of the songs on the EP is called Tame Me. I think that one's a really good place to start. And then they released an album in 2024. Favorite song on that one is the song By Proxy. So yeah, 2 albums and an EP out, and somehow these guys only have 600 monthly listens on Spotify. Go check them out, go support them. If you've heard of Young the Giant and like Young the Giant, I'd be very surprised if you didn't hear the correlation as well as didn't like the music. If you've never heard of Young the Giant, I'd actually recommend them too. Again, we have so much music to go through, but I mean, if I'm going to talk about Young the Giant, I'm going to talk about their self-titled album, Young the Giant, to go check out. Alright, next up is a band called Wet Denim. W-E-T space D-E-N-I-M. Wet Denim kind of has almost like a 2010 rock type of vibe to them. So they have 2 EPs out, I believe. Both EPs are pretty good front to back, but again, I'm recommending bands, and then I'm recommending a couple songs that I think either showcase the band well, or usually it's just like, here's my favorite songs by them. Here's the ones that I've been listening to the most. And one of those songs is the song Stuck With You, which is actually the first song I heard by Wet Denim, and I couldn't stop queuing it up. Love that one. And then I dove a little bit deeper into their music. Another song that I like is called Another Hit. And then my personal favorite song by Wet Denim so far is the song Beautiful Misunderstanding. So yeah, Beautiful Misunderstanding. I feel like at times the singer sounds like Louis Capaldi. Like he's just belting it out. He has such a powerful voice. So through the song Beautiful Understanding, first verse and second verse, it's definitely a little bit slower. It's a lot about the singer. It's a bit of an emotional tone in his voice. I'd say there's a little bit of a lull in the middle of the song, but stick it out because the third act, or like the third verse of the song, is really where it all comes together. They have some beautiful instruments playing, and the singer really just gets to showcase how great their voice is. So definitely recommend, if you're going to listen to any songs by Wet Denim, I'd start with Stuck With You, Beautiful Misunderstanding, and Another Hit. All right, we're going to keep it moving to one of my favorites so far this year. It's hard to pick, but probably in the top 3 to 5 new bands that I've been able to come across so far this year. This band's called Collins Beach. It's Collins Beach, Beach. So right now they have 7 songs out. All of them are just singles, no EPs or albums yet. All of them are great. If you have time for all 7, I'd recommend them. This band Collins Beach, I'd say they weirdly sound very similar to the Backseat Lovers. Specifically their guitarists, I feel like whatever they're doing with their guitar sounds very similar to the guitar work in the Backseat Lovers. So much so that their newest song came out in 2024. It's a song called Imprints, and the intro sounds exactly like Kill Me Girl by Backseat Lovers. It tricks me every time that I think I'm about to listen to Kill Me Girl, one of the greatest indie songs ever in my opinion. And we get Imprints, which is definitely good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. But I mean, the songs that I would recommend though from Collins Beach at the top of my list would be the song Build You Up. The second would be December, and then I'd say By Surprise. Those are my 3 favorite songs by them, and they all pack a good punch, so go check out Collins Beach. Alrighty, next band in this long list of bands here. The band's called The High Lines. It's The High is H-I-G-H, Lines L-I-N-E-S. So yeah, the Highlines, I feel like they sound like almost early 2000s rock, specifically with their singer's voice. Their singer's voice is very incredible. My favorite two songs by them are a little bit slower, but they just absolutely caught my attention, and I kept on queuing them up. The first song I heard by them was a song called It All Comes Crashing Down. And after I heard this one, I listened to all their music, and I was like, nothing came close to how good It All Comes Crashing Down was. But the more I listened to their music, again, they're another band that just has maybe 7-8 songs out there right now. The more I listened to their music, the more I was like, you know what? I'm good with all this, and It All Comes Crashing Down, one of their best songs, but the song Burn, very close, if not my favorite song by the Highlines. Some other songs, Disco, Count Me Out, and 23. Again, I mean, that's 5 of their 7 songs, but they're a good band. I definitely recommend checking out the Highlines. And with all these bands, I mean, they're all relatively new, and pretty excited to see where it all goes. All right, this next band is a little crazy. They're, I don't know what type of genre they are, because it almost seems like in every song there are about 8 different genres all at the same time, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily work for me, but I'm sure that it's somebody's favorite song out there. This band is the band Cigarettes at Sunset, and it is cigarettes and at symbol sunset. Like I said, the band really jumps different genres, and they have not only kind of like a raspy voiced singer, they have some great guitar solos, but then they also have a violinist and a horn section. So they got a lot going on. And the songs that work the best for me, the song Great Kid, probably my favorite song by them. It's one that just keeps on building. Eventually the whole band is just jamming out together, and you can just hear everybody singing in the band. To go along with the song Great Kid, the songs Shoulder Blades and Body Bag, both really good ones. They have a really nice horn section going through them. Just mixes well with the violin, and again, the singer's voice. It just all flows really well together. I feel like one of the best things that this band does is when you're ripping on guitar, you're ripping right alongside with the violin, and it just sounds great together. That, and then again, you got a trumpet, you got some horns in the background. It's a good vibe. Great Kid, Shoulder Blades, and Body Bag are the 3 songs that I recommend. If you take a deeper dive, I'm not saying everything is gonna work for you, but those ones at least worked for me. So Cigarettes at Sunset, again, at symbol. I don't know how I feel about that one, but hopefully they can catch some notoriety anyways, and a little bit more people can hear their music. So in preparation for this episode, I went back through all these bands that I'm mentioning, listened to all their music at least one more time through, and as I was working my way through it, because this is all chronological order so far, as I was working my way through this little project in the last 2 days, these next 2 bands I was so excited to talk about, and was just getting excited to have another chance to listen through all their music once again. So next band I have to talk about, get your pen and paper, because this is one of my favorites, Margot Sinclair. It's Margot space Sinclair. So Margot Sinclair, they're the Strokesiest band on this list, and if you know me, I love the Strokes. I really deep dove into them last year, and now everything that sounds anything remotely close to the Strokes I'm into. So that works out well because Margot Sinclair has a very Strokesy sort of sound. I feel like you can always hear the bassist really well. The guitar is often just a simple, catchy, unique sort of riff. And, I mean, the singer is just super clean, nice and flowy. Goes right along with the music, right? The songs that I'm going to recommend, Margot Sinclair only has 9 songs out right now. I'd recommend all of them, but if you're looking for a good place to start the journey, I'd say my favorite song by them is the song called Sweet Relief. I really love the drummer and the bassist during the whole song, Sweet Relief. And a couple other songs that I recommend. Elizabeth of Bohemia is one of their newest, I think it is actually their newest song that came out in 2025. The song Special K is goofy, but it has a great flow to it. It's really catchy. It'll be stuck in your head for sure. Another song is This for Love. So that's a good place to start. Again, if you end up enjoying those 4 songs, just listen to all 9 of them, because on Spotify they have 9 songs out. I have 9 songs liked, so it's a high recommendation. But let's start with Sweet Relief, Elizabeth of Bohemia, Special K, and Is This for Love to get you started with Margot Sinclair. Alright, we gotta talk about the Stews. The Stews is Stews is Stews. The Stews carry some nasty guitar. They got some 80s rock vibes. They have an incredible singer. They do like the 80s rock bands justice. They're one of those bands that just have like the rock ballads. They're 5-6 minute songs that ebb and flow and rock a guitar solo halfway in between as well as at the end, and everything's just, it's gorgeous music. There's definitely some songs in particular that I like more than others for the Stews, but they have 2 albums out and an EP. I think pretty much front to back, each of those projects are really worth you listen. So of their 3 projects, they have the 2 albums and an EP. The best songs that come off of each of those, I'd say my favorites are Slip Away, Make It Out, Too Much to Lose, Waste of Time, Buried Alive, and Hard to Find. The songs Too Much to Lose and Hard to Find are going to be, again, very rock ballady. The way that the singer sings just the one word, lose, in the song Too Much to Lose is sincerely more artistic and beautiful than anything that I have been able to make in my entire life. Just the one word that he sings, impeccable. I love it. He just carries, you gotta listen to it. Too Much to Lose and Hard to Find are the ones that, I mean, maybe in the beginning I was listening to Slip Away and Make It Out a little bit more, but right now, all I want to listen to is Too Much to Lose and Hard to Find. Those 2 songs are phenomenal. The singer just like holds the note the entire time that the whole guitar solo is going through. And I mean, I've mostly just been talking about the singer, but as mentioned in the very beginning, they have some nasty guitarists on this on this squad here. So highly recommend the Stews. They're probably my favorite new band that I've been able to find so far this year, right alongside Margot Sinclair. The last band that I was able to find in January of 2025, it was on my release radar on Spotify. If you guys don't check out your release radar on Spotify, if you have the time for it, that's definitely where I can find a lot of new music. And the more indie you go, I've found the more artists will pop up on there. This next band, this is the first project that they've ever released onto Spotify. It was a 4-song EP. The band is called Sleeping with Socks On. This is another kind of Backseat Lovers type of sound to them. This one's more so their singer that sounds a lot more like the lead singer of Backseat Lovers. But they definitely have their own unique style in this 4-song EP. The EP is called How It Was Before. I mean, I'd recommend each song on it. I think the best song on it for me was a song called Swoon, S-W-O-O-N. But all 4 are really good. So just a quick shout out to Sleeping with Socks On. I feel like they're worth the listen. I mean, it's only 4 songs. And I think they're worth the follow already. So I'm excited to see what else these guys come out with. So we just burned through 9 artists and also laid a little mention to the Lumineers and Rum Jungle. So total of 11 artists that we've worked our way through. So yeah, one by one, we got, again, the Stripers, the Debtors, Wet Denim, Collins Beach, the Highlines, Cigarettes at Sunset, Margot Sinclair, the Stews, and Sleeping with Socks On. So a lot of music to check out. If you're like me, I'm always looking for recommendations. I'm always looking to find some new things. It's always fun for me to find new music, and I have so much love for great music, and when something really hits me well, man, does it make my day a lot better. And actually, this next segment, first time we're doing it, it's going to be a reoccurring segment. It's called the Saucy Singles, and we're just going to be talking about some single songs that I've been able to find, or just songs in general that I've been really digging that aren't necessarily full artists or aren't necessarily full projects. Just one-offs if it's either a band that I like that released a new single. I mean, we have one in February that I'll be talking about that's just, I mean, it was a song that I'm sure a lot of us have heard. It's a song that I grew up listening to, but listening to it now as an adult on some nice quality speakers, it's hit me in a totally different way. But again, we'll talk about that one in February. So yeah, saucy singles. The saucy singles of January. What better way to start this segment off than the song Sweet Nothing by Hotbed. Hotbed has only a couple thousand monthly listens. They've been releasing music for quite some time, but Sweet Nothing kind of came out of nowhere. I was lucky enough to find it here, and it's their top song on Spotify. Again, the band's Hotbed. I did listen through all their music, and they have some good stuff, but Sweet Nothing, nothing really compares to it. I mean, it was my favorite thing in music for a lot of December into early January. The song Sweet Nothing, I would say just listen through it all the way at least one time. Get to the last part of the song because it's beautiful. Like, you don't necessarily expect it to just all of a sudden be like the most beautiful song that I've heard all year, but it really is. So Sweet Nothing by the band Hotbed. Hotbed is just Hotbed, no space. And again, I feel like just a perfect song to kick off this reoccurring segment, Saucy Singles. Next on the Saucy Singles list, Tangerine by Noah Richardson. The song Tangerine really caught my attention. It has a very nice flow to it. It's lyrically really, like, I feel like you can hear all the lyrics that the singer's trying to say, and lyrically it's a great song. And it's kind of just got a good vibe to it as well. Tangerine by Noah Richardson. I checked out a little bit more of his music. It's a little bit more on the poppy side. There's actually a song that Noah Richardson released in February of 2025 that I'm enjoying as well, and the more I listen to it, I'm sure it'll end up on the Saucy Singles for next month's episode as well here. Gotta shout out Hall Pass. I've been able to talk about Hall Pass, I think, in every episode so far, and they released a single in January. It's called Aurora. Again, listen to that one all the way through. They really start jamming together. They're all singing together by the end. It's a really great song. Aurora by Hall Pass. I believe I mentioned this song on last episode, but I gotta bring it up again. It's RC Drive, and it's the song Oak Tree, Daydream. I love this song. The first time I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that's cute, that's fun. And every other time I've listened to it since then, I'm just like, I just want to listen to it again. It's so fun. They're literally just like all singing as a band at the end of the song, and it's just a fun song. It's lighthearted. It's something that you might need. Get you through your day. So Oak Tree, Daydream by RC Drive. Just another great song by RC Drive. They've been coming out with music nonstop. They came out with the song Thrift Store in February. They came out with Louie, and they're cooking out music. I love the band RC Drive. One last saucy single to mention. I feel like I get maybe like 2 to 3 EDM songs that really work for me every year. And most of the time, it's from a band, Zed's Dead. I have to mention the song because if you dabble in EDM, or if you really like EDM, I'm going to make a recommendation here. It's the song One of These Mornings by Zed's Dead. Came out in January, and it's just one of those that I get. Again, every year I get about 2 or 3 EDM songs that just hits all the sweet spots in my brain for sure. So go check out One of These Mornings by Zed's Dead. So just quick recap of saucy singles for January. We got Sweet Nothing by Hotbed. Definitely go check that one out. Tangerine by Noah Richardson. Aurora by Hall Pass. We got Oak Tree, Daydream by RC Drive. And we got One of These Mornings by Zed's Dead. If you can't find something that you like out of that list, I don't know. Maybe it's time to find a different recommendation channel or show, I guess, because every one of those ones, I want them on repeat for sure. All right, so we talked about 9 brand new artists. A lot of those artists, I think the Stews have the most monthly listens with, I think they're around 88,000 monthly listens. All the rest of them, I mean, are pretty low-key bands, so definitely go check them out, support the music. A lot of them have Instagrams. Follow them on there. Let them know if you're liking their music. And yeah, let me know if you're liking the show so far. We're 4 episodes in. We'll be working on episode 5 really soon here. Again, I'm going to be talking about my February in music. We'll take a deeper dive into the Lumineers album, Automatic. I'm sure I'll have my first impressions of the newest Rum Jungle album, Recency Bias. And we already got a long list of singles that came out in February. I'll give you a little sneak peek of the saucy singles for next week because I think everybody needs to go hear the song. If you've been liking the Hans Williams recommendations from every episode actually so far, I've mentioned Hans Williams. He was featured in a new song, so search Hans Williams, see if you can find the song that came out in February because it's a beautiful song. So yeah, lots to look forward to in music. I'm curious to know if you guys have heard any of these bands before. If you have, definitely let me know. If any of them are new to you and you were able to check them out, please reach out. Let me know how you're feeling about the music, if anything specifically works for you, if you have recommendations that maybe sound similar to the bands that I've recommended. I'm all ears on all that stuff, so again, reach out, thejammiesshow@gmail.com. So lastly, if you had any music that you wanted to showcase on the show, send an email over to thejammiesshow@gmail.com. We can work together, collaborate. You can showcase that music on there. I'll let people know band name, where you guys are touring, if you are, any sort of information that would be pertinent and that you would want me to share. Let's get your music out there. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. I am no musician. I just love music. Let's put some music out there. Let's get a couple more ears on your projects, and I'm excited to work together on that. So again, reach out thejammiesshow@gmail.com with any music that you may want on the show. So yeah, that is episode number 4 of The Jammies. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. Thanks for listening in. It's been a very fun show to make so far. Really enjoying having the project of finding new music, not only for myself, but for others. Again, it's great to hear feedback, so please do reach out if you have any. I hope some of the music finds you well. I hope that 2025 is, again, off to a great start for everybody. Let's make it a great year. Let's make it a great year in music. That's all I got for this one. Thanks again so much for listening. Oh, and one other thing. Keep on jamming.